As a society, we are all exposed to pop culture on a daily basis. Popular culture refers to a collection of attitudes, ideas, images, and perspectives on mainstream culture. That is, in relation to arts, books, fashion, sport, the cyber world, television, and music. This is transmitted via the mass media and is commonly aimed at younger people, making it a relevant issue in schools today.
Pop culture and development. Young children are naturally curious and are open to new things. They are easily influenced and can learn through watching, listening, and doing the things they perceive. There are a multitude of factors that influence their development. Therefore, it is important to understand and know what children need in order to grow. In compliance to pop culture, utilizing knowledge of known concepts within a classroom is highly beneficial. It will result in students being more attentive and willing to learn. There will be a better understanding of ideas, and it will heighten both critical and analytical skills at a young age. Gender is socially constructed. It is composed of ideas we have towards masculinity and femininity and how we should apply these notions based on their designated sex. Social constructions tell and show people what is regarded as normative and what is considered aberrant. Gender stereotypes are overgeneralized ideas about the appropriate behaviors and characteristics associated towards males and females. They are used to define each gender group and have been culturally ingrained.
When pop culture is shared within a primary classroom, it can significantly attract the young adolescent's attention through its intentionally seeking attention and context as the youth are immersed in pop culture and its realm. Pop culture can pose as an important role and aspect in children's learning experience as they learn meaningful lessons in a more fun approach, increasing their involvement. However, there are experiences and involvement of gender stereotype and ideals of gender within the aspects of behaviour, appearance and ability in what teachers are presenting to the children surrounding pop culture. A highly mediated film, Shrek 2, was considered designed to challenge gender stereotypes and mainstream discourses. However, there were strong contradictions about gender and sexuality presented within the film. The same old hocus-pocus pedagogies of gender and sexuality in Shrek 2 states that the movie's intention in challenging social norms of gender and sexuality was ultimately contradicted through the inclusion of when Pinocchio's nose grows when he lies about wearing ladies' underwear, Puss in Boots purring as an inappropriate level of intimacy from Donkey, and the representation of white heterosexual femininity and reproducing that as the norm throughout the entire film, and the continual inclusion of sexuality throughout the characters. Henry Guru 2004 argues that animated films operate on many registers. One of the most persuasive is the role they play as the new teaching machines, as producers of culture. A significant text representations of gender and embodiment in children's picture books explores this idea and the negative impacts it has upon the children and how they begin to perceive themselves, and further issues such as eating disorders, as the best-selling children's picture books constantly portray the same representations of femininity and female protagonists.
Masculinity in Disney films is presented in accordance with patriarchal gender stereotypes as male dominance supersedes female passivity. The stereotype of the male hero is evident in Disney films as a symbol of patriarchy. The prince from Cinderella ultimately saves her from a life of miserable servitude. Prince Eric defeats the sea witch Ursula in The Little Mermaid, and the prince saves Snow White with true love's kiss. The coffin serves as a metaphor for the conditions of patriarchal life. Representations of ideal femininity through a voyeuristic male gaze are repeated to represent obedience to the symbolic order as male superiority is established. The 1998 animated feature Mulan paints a black and white gender divide only to be challenged by Mulan herself. Scenes of traditional masculinity include boastful gruffness and repellent social habits, as well as the violent skill and physicality of the song I'll Make a Man Out of You. The song alludes to the hyper-masculinity of training montages like Rocky, where physicality and winning are critical. Mulan's traditional feminine background, epitomized in the Matchmaker song Honor to Us All, serves to combine with stereotypical masculinity in order to save China. The characters Yao, Ling, and Chen Po dress in classic female dress and makeup, subverting their masculine demeanour. Their lack of protest challenges the notion that femininity and male identity are mutually exclusive, while degrading neither in the process.
Popular culture can be a useful tool in helping students further understand certain topics or ideas. However, the gender bias that may come with this can be problematic. So how can we, as educators, improve gender bias? Communicating with our students is a great start. Pop culture shapes the ideas that our students walk into the classroom with. We can teach our students to be aware, open-minded and accepting. We can teach them that while gender bias does exist in popular culture, it does not mean that it's correct, nor does it mean it has to exist in the classroom. Students do not have to be labelled or grouped by their gender. We can allow our students to be whatever they want to be. We can make an effort to ensure that all resources and materials used in the classroom are equal and not aimed at particular genders. This can have the potential to normalise these issues and therefore decrease gender bias.